Hey everyone, Sam the Miracle Man here. I trust all is well. Well, today I began to read a book called Into the Magic Shop by Dr. James Doty, and I really resonated with it. I read about 40% of the book this afternoon, and it's really captivating, so I really recommend this book. So I want to talk about some of these initial steps that I read on his journey to get out of this head trash, this busyness. That's ultimately my goal. That's how I created my miracle, was getting out of this craziness, this noise, this internal voice that always wondering what else was going to go wrong as a sick man. So the first step that he talked about when he went to this magic shop and meeting the owner's mom there was, she was like, I want to teach you some things. The first thing she taught him was how to relax. Because a lot of people don't know how to relax. It's easy to tell someone, go relax, but it's hard. It's difficult. It requires a practice because we have this inner voice always distracting us, thinking about tomorrow, what happened in the past. It's always distracted the mind because it's never here. So it's hard to relax. And it just reminds me, in Eastern State Penitentiary, when that was first built and being used as a prison, they put everyone in solitary confinement. And that was very hard because when you're alone, when it's late at night, that's when you really hear the inner voice telling you how you're not good enough, you're not deserving, reliving the day, reliving the things that could have gone better, all those kind of things. So relaxation is very, very, very much a challenge if you're not used to that. So when I began my meditation practice, it was just 5 minutes a day. My practice was, where are my feet? Where are my hands? Where's my breath? Always whatever would take me back to the present moment. What they talk about in this book was focusing on the breath. And he had a hard time with the breath, if you will. So she had him focus on a candle as the way to... Well, that's actually jumping ahead a little bit. The candle was about the thinking part, but the relaxation, she just guided him through a meditation of like a full body scan meditation, I guess you could say, and just learning to relax, feeling each part of the body, noticing each part of the body, and just see if you can get that to relax, to ease, because the body's usually very tense, very stressed. So just focusing on your feet, is it relaxed? Focused on your ankles, is it relaxed? Your legs, your thighs, your hips. And just going through each part and just realizing, where we're holding tension, where we're holding stress. Then the next chapter was about thinking. And that's similar to my journey too. When I began meditation, I thought that meant stop thinking. But then I realized that the thoughts are always there. It's just a matter if you give them attention or not. Give them your focus. So it took me about 2 weeks to realize that I had thoughts, but I wasn't my thoughts. I wasn't my story. Because when I first began, I always thought stop thinking, and I was chasing my thoughts with more thoughts. But then eventually I learned to let the thoughts be just as they are. But if I don't focus on them, give them attention, but just focus on being here, where are my hands, where are my feet, then that practice really helped me not to attach to all these thoughts, all these stories, because the thoughts are still going, but I don't pay much attention to them. So they might try to snag you for a moment, but then you just remember your practice of being present. Then the next thing that they talked about, was opening the heart and the knowing. I don't know if it was opening the heart of the knowing that came next. I just read it today and I don't have it here referenced in front of me. But one of the things she talked about reminds me too is when I was just doing meditation, one day I simply knew all is well. And it was simply the body and mind were damaged, that's all. But I knew it was over at that point. So I just knew that my body was going to return back to normal. And that's that deep state of knowing that you have. You can't explain it. You can't rationalize it. It's just that when you realize you get out of all these stories, the body starts to come back into harmony. You begin to restore the body because the body has natural healing abilities. We simply get in the way. Like you have a small cut in your finger, you put a band-aid on it maybe, but you know the cut will heal itself. And the body will do that as well. If the mind isn't causing interference, all those stress hormones and components that pour through the body that keep that disease in place. Because we're always anxious, we're always stressed, always wondering what's going to happen next. I know this Dr. Doty was a neurosurgeon, so he talked about it a little bit. Probably talks about it a lot more, is that this mind is always in a state of fear. You know, it's always wondering what else is going to go wrong. So that's not a way to be, because the mind doesn't like the unknown. The not knowing is very difficult for the mind. So when it's late at night and quiet, the thoughts really start to churn and really start to go and really wake you up in the middle of the night with bad thoughts, bad dreams, because your mind's going through the worst possible case, even though that isn't happening here in this present moment. So just realize, take time to practice relaxation. And don't criticize yourself. That's what they also talked about in this book too, was this unconditional love. That you don't criticize yourself, that I am good enough just as I stand. Where my skills are, the mind wants me to be more advanced, but I'm here right now, and in time I'll get up to here. But taking those slow daily steps, that's how we get there. But then you just have to realize the biggest trick to a magician, which was in the book, was believing in yourself. Magicians work because they believe their story. They believe in that all things are possible. The only thing that tells you that they aren't possible, or you're not good enough, not deserving, is this craziness up here. But to realize you are the magician. You create your realities by your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions. But realize your skills are where they are, and you're building them with each step. You know your experience that you're having right now is here for your growth. Are you learning from them or complaining about them? For the complaining will keep you stuck. But if you're learning from them, you're growing. And our whole life purpose is to grow. It's not to remain stuck, suffering, living in pain. It's meant to be free, free from up here, being relaxed, not stressed, not worrying, knowing everything is in perfect divine order, that all is well. Regardless of the mind's opinions, all is well. You may not understand what's going on, but realize there's a greater good that we may not see right here, right now, and you may never really see it. The good might never really come apparent, but you just have to trust that it was for your greatest benefit, or society's greatest benefit. But there are no mistakes in the universe. You watching this video is not a mistake. You're meant to hear these words, because there's a part of you, your spirit, that wants to blossom, that wants to awaken out of these false stories that you're believing. You know, this is #1 fake news channel right here, is what's in your head. It's always fake news. And most of the news is, you know, doom and gloom, that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, complaining excuses, whatever it may be. It's your storyteller, the inner voice, needs to go. For your heart has the wisdom. So just love yourself, be gentle with yourself, and just take good care of you. Bye for now.